Hi, this is Pat Koppa, and thanks for joining me. This week, as promised, we're here at Milwaukee Harley-Davidson talking about the Softail family. But first, I want to thank Chaz Hastings, owner of Milwaukee Harley-Davidson, for taking time out of his busy day to allow us to record at his dealership. Thank you, Chaz.
Appreciate you being here. Thanks.
Yeah, and speaking of busy, I hear you guys are delivering 8 motorcycles today.
Yeah, it's a great way to end the second quarter. You know, we got 8 bikes that we're putting out today.
Yeah, it warms my heart, believe me. It's a
Me
good
too.
thing. So before jumping into the Softail models, I thought we'd take a little time to talk with Chaz about himself and get to know his dealership. So first, Chaz, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your history with the Harley-Davidson family?
Yeah, I'd love to. Actually, it started back in 1990 as a college intern.
Okay.
And I worked at Juneau Avenue, and I was helping with the remodel of the facility there. And then shortly after that, I got a position in Asia Pacific where I was helping setting up stores over in Japan and Australia. And then I did some time in Western Europe on some dealerships, and then I became a district sales manager where we worked together a few times.
Yeah, we did.
In California, Alaska, Georgia, Florida, and Michigan. So I was all over the place, and then I ran 2 dealerships in the Michigan area before I came over here in 2005 and bought Milwaukee Harley-Davidson.
Wow, that's quite a background. All right, thanks, Chaz. So today we'll be talking about the Softail family. So I'm wondering, can you tell us about your favorite features about the Softail?
Yeah, I'd love to. As a matter of fact, my first Harley-Davidson motorcycle was a 1995 Bad Boy. I loved it, and since then I've had a 96 Bad Boy, and then I had a Fat Boy. So I've had 3 of them, and actually a Night Train. I forgot about that one. But I'd say probably the biggest thing I like about them is what they're most famously known for, and that's the hardtail look with the softer ride. Just think that really is the best look out there for one of the cruiser bikes.
Yeah, it's classic. It works great for a motorcycle, and we'll be talking more today with our viewers about what makes that such a special thing, okay? Now, why don't you share with us how you're planning to bring the 110th anniversary party to your dealership?
I'd love to. This year for the 110th anniversary, we're actually building a permanent pavilion. So we'll have a lot of music and a lot of activity out there, but we'll have another stage. So 2 stages. We'll be open 24 hours. We're going to be giving away free tattoos from our brand new tattoo parlor. And I would say if there's a dealership out there that's more adult themed as far as the parties go, it'd be this one. So it's a really great time. Check us out on Milwaukee Harley on Facebook. Like us there, you'll get all the details for the event. I guarantee a great time for when you're not down at the Summerfest grounds.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I hope it does great things for your business as well.
It's incredible for us.
All right, cool. Well, that's awesome. Now, before we leave, Chaz, I'd like to take one more second because I want to congratulate you and your team on a Bronze Barn Shield in 2012. Nice job.
I appreciate that. And being an ex-district manager, I can't tell you how much it means to me to actually get that award, so thank you.
And you know it's tough, either repeat or move up. So I'm looking forward to your results in 2013.
We want to go gold and platinum, so
well,
thank you.
Thanks again, Chaz.
Thanks.
All right, now what I'd like to do is dive right into the Softail family. Today, I want to start out by providing a brief history of the Softail family and then explaining what makes this family different from others. And finally, I'm going to wrap up by showing viewers how to do an effective walk around of the Heritage Softail Classic. All right, so let's talk a little history. In 1980, design engineer Bill Davis was working to come up with a motorcycle that gave a hardtail look, but still giving the rider that soft, comfortable ride they're looking for. You know, Davis spent 4 years trying to find a way to hide those rear shock absorbers on a big twin frame. By 1984, Davis perfected his model and came out with the first ever Softail motorcycle, the FX-ST Softail. This motorcycle hid the rear shock absorbers, which allowed the bike's seat height to be lowered and provided riders with the sit-down in the bike feel. And doing this made riders feel more connected with the road, and man, it looks a hell of a lot cooler. 2 years later, in 1986, the FLST Heritage Softail came out. Now this model was built just like the first Softail, but presented with a 1950s look. This classic styling is combined with a Hydroglide style front end and front hubcap. You know, the lineage of this bike still remains in our product line today. Talk about staying power, that's because it's a great design. These 2 bikes started the Softail product line 27 years ago. And check out what they've led to. The Heritage Softail Classic, which brought true touring capability to the Softail family. The Fat Boy, this bike is iconic and one of our all-time best sellers. The Softail Deluxe, nostalgic looks with a really low seat height. The Fat Boy Low, simple brute force with blacked out looks. The Black Line, a contemporary Softail. The Softail Slim, simple, pure nostalgia. And most recently, the Breakout, a wickedly cool new model. Now, before we go on, I want to take a second to recognize the power of the Softail name. People know it and they ask about it. Take this example for instance. I approached a customer at an IMS show and I asked him what he was looking for and if he knew what he wanted. And he said, yeah, I pretty much narrowed it down to 2 bikes. It's either gonna be the Softail or the Fat Boy. Now you're smiling. And I politely explained to him that the Fat Boy is a Softail. And I explained a little history about the Softail and what made it different from the rest of our bikes. By doing this, I was able to gain more credibility and trust with that new rider, and he appreciated it. So next, how is the Softail family unique amongst the others? Well, first, let's spend a little more time talking about that frame, swing arm, and suspension that make this so unique. You can see that the frame runs right down into the same line as that swing arm. Now it looks like a hardtail, only a hardtail is rigid. You go over bumps and the whole motorcycle bounces up and down. All right, here it looks like a hardtail, but when you hit bumps, all right, that triangular shaped swing arm pivots around the pivot point, and the shock absorbers that you can see in the mirror absorb the bumps. Therefore, you've got that hardtail look with a soft ride, or a Softail. Also, the Softail family has a rigid mounted engine. This type of engine provides a Softail with a tighter visual package. You don't have to leave extra room in the frame for the vibrations of the motor. This tighter packaging creates another reason for the Softail having a lower seat height. The frame wraps down right over the motor, goes deep down here, and comes back up, giving you a kind of a divot where that low seat height can reside. All right, so now we've covered some of the basics of the Softail family. I want to spend a few minutes talking about engines and vibration and rubber mounting versus counterbalancing. All right, as you know, we have V-twin motors. You got 2 cylinders, each with a piston inside, going up and down, right? Every time those pistons go up and down, that motor's vibrating. And we have different ways to deal with that to make the rider comfortable. One way is to rubber mount the engine inside the frame, like we do in our touring, Dynaglide, and Sportster families. So that engine's vibrating around, but it's rubber mounted from the frame so the rider stays nice and smooth. The bike may vibrate at idle, but as you go faster, they get smoother. On a Softail, you heard me mention that it's rigid mounted in the frame. That's part of the reason we can make that chassis so tight around the motor, because the motor's not moving around, it's rigidly mounted. However, that engine would still be vibrating, and that vibration would go right through the frame, and the rider and the passenger would be getting all sort of buzzes to themselves through the frame. So the way we deal with that in a Softail is by counterbalancing the motor. Every Softail has a twin cam 103B motor, B for balanced, if you will. Now, the way I like to explain this motor is by grabbing a soda can. Inside this motor, there are 2 counterbalancers on the bottom of the motor. Think of them like a soda can, only solid steel soda can, cut in half the long way, right? So you got 2 of those, and they're mounted inside the cases down here. They're driven by a chain drive, and they're timed in coincidence with the pistons. So the idea is, when that piston on this side goes up and throws some force this way, that half soda can spins outward and sends some force that way. The end result is the piston goes up, the balancer goes out, they cancel each other, and you don't get any vibration. That happens every time each piston fires, the counterbalancers are spinning, and it keeps the engine smooth. That's something you want to be able to explain to your customers and what makes a Softail really unique. It's cool technology, and it's hidden inside a Harley-Davidson motor. On top of that, those heavy counterbalancers are down low in the engine. So what does that do for you? You might guess it. It gives your center of gravity down low to the ground. Low center of gravity on a bike is a great thing for almost everybody on the planet. They like it when the bike's not top heavy. They like when the center of gravity's down low, the bike doesn't tip over as easily. Hopefully that makes sense to all you guys out there. Now we've gone through the motor, let's talk about some more specifics of this particular model. What I would talk about if I were explaining a Heritage Softail Classic to a customer on my showroom floor. Obviously, there's 2 big things going on with the Heritage Softail Classic. It's a very nostalgic motorcycle, all right? On top of that, it's got great touring competency. So let's talk about those 2 things. What gives it nostalgia? It's got steel lace wheels. That's a classic look, along with that big, wide black wall tire. A big FL front fender, fat forks with the beer can fork covers. It gives it a beefy front end that's distinctive, makes it look retro or nostalgic, also makes it look kind of heavy duty. You also have passing lamps on this bike, all right? That's a very nice, distinctive, nostalgic look. Also a nice touring capability for better lighting. Moving back on the nostalgia theme, You've got a cat-eye tank console. That comes right out of our history books. Another distinctive, nostalgic look that sets this bike apart. All right, looking down low, you've got half-moon floorboards and a round brake pedal. Those are really classic looks, adding to this bike's character. You got some studs on the seats and the saddlebags. And on top of that now, you've got some great touring capability on this motorcycle. First of all, you've got a windshield that blocks the wind, comes with the bike. It's also quick detach, so you can change your looks. These mini apes, we call them, give you a nice, comfortable riding position, and you can adjust their angle to put it right where you want it. A lot of people love those handlebars. All right, the seat's big and comfortable for both the rider and the passenger. The saddlebags are big, they're leather, they look cool, and they've got easy, quick disconnects in the straps. So they look like buckles, but they come on and off easily. And then last but not least, you've got a backrest, standard equipment on this motorcycle. So, what does it boil down to? You've got a motorcycle that's really cool, great nostalgia, low seat height, down low on the bike, low center of gravity, so it's easy to manage, not going to tip over, handles great in the parking lot, and you can ride it around town or you can take it on trips. So if you have customers who are maybe a little shorter stature and they want a touring competent bike, this is a fantastic solution. As you can see, during my walk around, I covered all the basics of the Heritage Classic, its unique features, and how the bike is different from other models in the Softail family as well as other models in our entire product line. By doing this, I've filled the customer with knowledge, and the more you know, the more effective you'll be while doing a walk around. For this week's selling tip, know your product. Make sure to understand the features and benefits of our motorcycles. Be a credible resource. So, my challenge to you is to take a test ride of a Heritage Softail Classic and immediately ride a Road King, both great bikes. If you do it, you're going to notice the difference. They're two different bikes, completely different ride. Doing this will help you by understanding which type of bike would better fit your customer based on their needs. And also, don't be afraid to reference the history of these motorcycles. We've got many Harley history books that can provide you with useful information and tidbits. Information like this can really help you gain credibility and impress your customers. Well, thanks again to Chaz and all of his crew for having us here at Milwaukee Harley-Davidson, and thank you for viewing. I hope this walk around helped you, and remember, the more you know, the better you can sell. And oh yeah, before I go, remember, send your customers to Milwaukee for the 110th anniversary party. I guarantee they're gonna have a great time. Just click on the links below to learn more information about the celebration and where you can buy your tickets today. Next week, we'll be hearing from Mark Rogers, who will also be doing a walk around, but of the XL 1200X 48 Sportster, so don't miss out. Until next time, thanks for listening and sell well.